It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm. Coming up on today's show, the toilets of tomorrow are here today. Cleaning without a permit is bad, apparently. And Sad Nipple Syndrome. All of that is coming up inside the Treehouse today. And if you like what you hear today, share the show with a friend. Hit that share button from your favorite listening platform and send the show to a friend or family member or post it on social media. And together, let's grow the Treehouse Show. Before we get to a headline of the year nominee, and I don't say that full of hyperbole, I mean this is a legitimate contender for headline of the year. Before we do that, Trey asked me to ask him, what did you do this week?
Well, Dan, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
I decorated.
You did. You look good. Your room looks good. You got moved into your new apartment. I see a couple of pieces of art hanging up, framing either side of your head, and then above your head, some illustrious longhorns that are mounted above you.
Yep. Something I've had older than I am. But so I decorated. Friend Amy Newman came over, helped me, and actually started, have a place that looks like an adult lives. I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep.
It's a big moment in every man's life.
Mm-hmm. That
to be fair, some men never reach that stage.
Well, it's alcoholism, kind of stunts your maturing, and so now I'm kind of on a truncated timeline. From 17 to, I figure I'm somewhere in my mid 30s right now. And I learned what an avoidant was, and that's been very interesting, as it has to do with my personal life. Fascinating little personality quirk, I guess you'd call it. But
avoidant personality. Yep, I've heard of that.
Most importantly, Dan.
Yes.
I have a number and a letter that really sums up my weekend. 4K. I never had a TV that really you could get 4K in. Holy shit. Do you remember when HD came out and like Cuban had HD net and you would watch it and it would just show some of the weirdest things, but you didn't matter because it was in HD?
Yes. I think I remember all of us watching the monkey in a hot spring for hours.
Yes. I watched a lot of soccer, a lot of golf, because DirecTV has some channels that they dedicate to 4K. Man, it is just amazing. And
golf in 4K?
Anything in 4K is just amazing.
Oh, yes.
And I watched the last Mission Impossible that was in 4K. And but this TV, so I got a Sony Bravia, and you get access to, like, I guess Sony has their own on-demand movie things, but it shows you can get IMAX movies, and it gives you a preview of what it's unbelievable. I watched the preview like 5 times. It's that amazing.
You watch a preview of a channel.
Well, it shows you like different clips and of some movies and other special effects. But yeah, you just watch it over and over. It's 2.5 minutes. I watched it like 5 times.
Just mesmerized.
It's absolutely stunning. The only time I ever really saw 4K, like the NFL would do shots in 4K, and the guy would look up close, and then everything in the distance. But then when you have a TV that actually gets 4K and you have the bandwidth to really get it, man, it's phenomenal.
This sounds life-changing. And
listen, like
hearing you describe it makes me think maybe I have not seen really anything in true 4K.
I mean, I had my older TV said they did 4K, but I knew they really didn't. But this one, it's just.
I think that's the problem I have had, because the last few TVs I've bought, they've all been 4K, but that's fine and dandy. But if you're not watching content that's also 4K, then you might get it upscaled a little bit, but it's not going to be that true eyeball peeling 4K experience. So I'm now I'm hearing you describe this. I'm now thinking maybe I've never really seen something true 4K. I mean, I've seen some beautiful things on television. I know, like, the last time I seriously researched buying a television was, I think, 2015, when we bought our house in 2015, and I was like, all right, it's big boy time. Buying a house. I want a TV. I don't want anything extravagant, but I wanted a good, solid TV with a good picture. I didn't need it to be the entire side of the house size-wise. I just wanted a good quality thing. So I went and researched it and I did it. And then I look at all these TVs in the showroom and they all look fantastic. And you get it home, and I feel like I made a solid purchase, but nothing ever quite looks the same at home as it does on the showroom floor.
I'm kind of in the same boat you were. I was not going to spend an arm and like, I know there are TVs you can spend $2, $3, $5,000 on. I wish I had the money. I didn't. So like I found this one and it was basically 30% off on Amazon. And also they delivered, which was something because 75 inches, I don't have a vehicle that you could even, put it in.
Yeah.
But it was a really good deal and had good ratings and everything else. I think it's I don't know, mini LED or something like that. I don't know, but it is whatever it is. It's phenomenal.
I'm happy for you. Genuinely.
Thank you.
Congratulations. There are benchmark times in a man's life that he needs to surround his fellow men and be congratulated. Sure, one of them is if you have a kid. The other is when you get yourself a kick-ass TV.
I guess I watched a lot of soccer this weekend, and not that I'm that big of a fan. It just if it's in 4K, it's mesmerizing. And the Mission Impossible last one, solid movie.
I still need to see that. I saw the first part, so like what Dead Reckoning Part 1. I need to see the Part 2.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. They said it's the last one, but man, it sure does leave it open for another one. the way they end it, you're like, is it? No.
It's basically going to be, here's what it's going to be over the next 30 years. Okay. Over the next 30 years, we're going to get more Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movies, and we're getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine until he's 90, just like Deadpool said it would be. I have no doubt in my mind both of those guys are still going to be lifting weights and jumping motorcycles into parachutes and things well into their 80s, probably up into their 90s.
The fact that Tom Cruise does his own stunts, it is mind-blowing. I mean, yeah, he's weird. The whole Scientology thing's weird, but he is by far and away he has to be the greatest action movie star of at least of our generation and maybe of all time.
He is Tom Cruise is the epitome of Hollywood magic, because we're talking about a guy that's 5'7", probably 155, 160 pounds. And Hollywood makes him seem larger than life as an action hero. And it's believable. The only role that he was not as convincing to me as others have been is the Reacher role. That's it. And that's only because the books had that guy described so vividly that when it was announced that Tom Cruise was producing and he was going to do the role, everyone's like, nah, man.
Well, now let me ask you this question, because I agree with you, but I also know that I had a bias because I knew the Reacher character was more supposed to be like Alan Rickman and like 6'3" and muscular and hulking, not the normal looking Tom Cruise. Right. But I still thought the movies were good.
I agree with you. That first Reacher movie was solid. It's got a great ending. It's where it's the kidnapped woman and it's Robert Duvall as the sniper doing his eyeball thing. I agree. The movie was really good. But anyway, yeah. Congratulations on your new amazing 4K television.
Thank you.
A true testament to your life's achievements to this point.
Yeah, that's sadly you are 100% correct.
It's okay.
Alone in my recliner. It actually was not. I have so much more space now because I have a 2-bedroom and I have a room for the podcast equipment. And so my living room now is spaced out. And I was able to actually just recline in my recliner and watch TV and movies. And it was damn enjoyable.
That sounds really nice. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm also a little jealous. Last night I watched Pretty Woman.
You know what? Always a solid movie.
It holds up.
Yep. That is love. I love, that is the Julia Roberts that I absolutely lust over. That era. It's
I concur. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's all you can say is your wife's nearby.
How'd you know? Hi, honey. I need a change of. I need some sort of a segue sound. All right, on to real stuff inside the Treehouse. A headline of the year nominee. Again, this is not hyperbole. I mean this. Every word of this headline is unexpected. Are you ready? Concerns over therapy ferrets. Used to kill rats at UK's children's prison. See what I mean? Every word of that headline was unexpected. Oh, it was like,
all magical.
Oh, it was like playing Mad Libs on shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Concerns over therapy ferrets used to kill rats at UK's largest children's prison. Wow. Pet ferrets kept as therapy animals at the UK's largest children's prison have been co-opted by managers to kill rats, resulting in a bloody incident and concerns over child and animal welfare. Wow. The unorthodox method of vermin control was waved through last month following a surge in rat numbers in prison offices and grounds. This was at the HMYOI Weatherby in West Yorkshire. According to a union complaint seen by The Guardian, the decision resulted in a boy who looks after ferrets witnessing an inappropriate and potentially distressing savaging of a screaming rat. Another complaint suggests the gored rodent was then stomped to death by a senior staff member in front of prison officers. The incident once again highlights the vermin-ridden conditions in which children and adults are detained within the prison estate across England and Wales. Mark Fairhurst, a national chair of the Prison Officers Association, called for a reversal of the policy, claiming that the incident happened because private contractors are failing to keep prisons vermin-free. Wow. This is a lot in one story.
The first thing, my first question is, and if they don't, we can help them with this. But does the UK not have an abundance of cats? Because they could be therapy animals and really good at catching rats and maintaining decreasing a rat and mouse population.
I think that's the problem. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the therapy animal choice. I think it's what they had the therapy animals do outside of the therapy. So you're suggesting therapy cat to do the same stuff, whereas therapy ferrets were doing what you just suggested.
Well, ferrets are going to be a lot more violent and, a lot of times cats will just kill mice and then just play with them, but they won't. Ferrets are from what I understand, a little more savage.
I'd agree with that. Ferrets are kept as part of a therapeutic program for traumatized children.
Have you ever been around a ferret?
Yeah. My college roommate had a pair of them.
Okay. So I had a college friend that had a pet ferret. Hey, they stink.
Uh-huh. Very musky.
Yeah. And
all the musk. And not in a good Jovan way.
No. in a wildlife scent way.
Yeah. And your anal glands have never been expressed, have they? Kind of.
Yeah.
A way.
Yeah. I've never in my wildest dreams did I think someone, would be using ferrets for therapy animals.
Hello, kindergarten cop. The class mascot was a ferret.
A mascot is one thing, but a therapy animal is another.
Well, it was still Arnold Schwarzenegger handing a ferret off to 5-year-olds.
Yeah, but this isn't a petting zoo. This isn't something where the kids can just enjoy. Obviously, they're using the ferret to help heal these children.
And obviously, kindergarten cop was like 1990.
Yeah.
It was a different era than where you could hand a ferret to a 5-year-old and it was seen as no big deal. By today's standards, you got to be careful. Oh, man. In mid-May, staff and children complained about dozens of rats running around the grounds and inside prison buildings. A team of officers and children who are allowed to take on maintenance duties called Q Branch were given permission to use ferrets to kill the rats. According to the complaint sent to the Institute's governor, a rat was cornered and killed within a staff office using domesticated ferrets. This raises significant concerns in relation to animal welfare, health and safety, infection control, and professional conduct. Just, problems across the board there.
The UK has been taking a lot of L's lately. This is another one.
Yeah. Well, they said it is particularly concerning that a young individual responsible for the ferrets was present and witnessed the incident. Exposure to such an incident is inappropriate and potentially distressing and warrants review. Now, based on everything I've said, it's like, okay, it sounds kind of bad because this kid had to see a ferret or a few ferrets get after a rat in a very savage fashion. And then supposedly another prison official came in and stomped on a rat. That all sounds kind of bad, kind of traumatizing to a small child. But it gets worse. Rather than destroy rats caught by approved pest control methods, a manager advised stomping on them and throwing them against the wall.
Yeah, that's just
that's a tad much.
Yeah, it's a little sadistic. I mean, I hate rats as much as the next person, but yeah, that's excessive.
These kids have been through enough.
Well, that's you're dealing with kids that have somehow ended up in prison, so they might be a tad sensitive to violent acts. Having a ferret maul a rat in front of them, maybe not such a good idea.
Let's not give them ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not feed the violent tendencies. Let's try to calm them.
This is supposed to be a soothing place, not a throw it against the wall and stomp on it.
Didn't the UK invent Barney?
Did they?
I think they did. Or they have Teletubbies. Seriously, there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, ferret killer, it really should be one of them.
Concerns over therapy ferrets used to kill rats at UK's children's prison, probably not the way to go.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. To get your free roof inspection and property review, call Daniel and Carrie Cook today at 833-COOK-DFW. Once again, get that free roof inspection and property review, especially with all those storms that went through North Texas over the last handful of days. Have that roof checked. Just because you don't see a problem right now doesn't mean you don't have one. Better to catch it when it's small before it becomes a big one. And they'll take a look around the rest of your property as well, let you know if there are any issues. And they'll let you know if you're good to go as well. It's what we love about them. They're honest with you. 833-COOK-DFW or that website, cookdfw.com. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. Let's celebrate today with some birthdays. Turning 54 today, Selma Blair. Selma Blair turns 54 today.
Doesn't she the one she has like MS or something?
Yeah, I believe she has MS. She's an actress best known for Hellboy, Legally Blonde, and she was the naive teenager in Cruel Intentions. One of the reasons Cruel Intentions was so popular back in the 90s was because of its very sensual female kiss between Selma Blair and Sarah Michelle Gellar, which we deserved in the 90s because a lot of the girl-on-girl lesbian kisses that happened in the 90s before this one were of a shocking nature, not of a sensual nature. Before we could see Sarah Michelle Gellar teach Selma Blair how to kiss in Cruel Intentions, we first had to witness Roseanne Barr being kissed on her television show. That was not sensual. That was shocking. I was just...
Yeah, we didn't have to see that. It's like we didn't have to see Dennis Fran's ass.
Right.
But see, that is second in the girl-on-girl kissing of 90s movies.
Before you tell me what it is, I'm going to write down my guess as to what I think you're going to say.
Oh, you know, I promise. I can't even think of the name of the movie, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I promise you it'll be number one on your list too.
Let's find out.
Nev Campbell, Denise Richards. Yeah,
Wild Things.
Yeah,
that's no.
That was the good one.
That's not fair to the others because they didn't just kiss. I mean, they were in a pool, and it wasn't just like out of, shock or sensuality. It was, oh, we gonna get it on. Like, oh, okay. Wild Things kicked it up a notch. I mean, the name of the movie said, okay, we had some expectations here. So a little smoochy smooch between Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair in Cruel Intentions, wow, nice. And definitely better than Roseanne Barr kissing anything, including Tom Arnold. When Wild Things hit, we knew, like, there was rumor. And this is before the internet. This is before social media, and then before the internet was really, really popular. We knew Wild Things was wild before it even hit theaters. Just buzz.
I don't even remember what that movie was about.
I actually kind of do.
I don't have a clue. I just remember that.
I think it was a heist. And I know that there was some sort of betrayal, right?
If you say so.
And Kevin Bacon's wiener.
Don't remember that. I remember one thing about that movie. And it's really probably the only important thing about it.
You got the gist of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the pitch in a studio in Hollywood was real simple. It said, okay, Denise Richards, Nev Campbell making out in the pool. Here's your money. Well, I haven't told you the plot yet. Don't care. We don't care about the plot. Just make that scene happen. Whatever you do around it doesn't matter. I'm going to show Kevin Bacon's wiener too. Whatever. Cool. Let's just...
So now we have, 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon's wiener. Just give me the kissing. Just give me Nev Campbell and Denise Richards.
There you go. That's it. Other birthdays today. Frances McDormand, a phenomenal actress. She is 69. As far as I know, she does not have a Wild Things type film in her career. She's a 4-time Academy Award winner, star of Fargo, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Nomadland, so many movies, so talented.
She's narrating a show that I'm currently watching called Good Omens. And she even does a phenomenal job at that.
Doesn't surprise me. She is one of those actors, and I'm saying actor on purpose. I want to make sure that I'm including male actors, female act, all of it in here. She is special. Mm-hmm. She to me is one of those that there's a number of them. There aren't many in Hollywood that if this person is in a movie or a show, I'm immediately interested. She's one of them. I can't remember. I think she's married to one of the Coen brothers, and so she's also been in a number of the Coen brothers movies.
I thought she.
No, am I wrong?
Hang on.
Okay. While you look that up, I'll also throw in a couple other birthdays. Joel Edgerton turns 52 today. He is star of.
Okay, you're right. Joel Coen.
Got it. Joel Edgerton is 52 from Warrior, The Underground Railroad, The Great Gatsby. If I remember right, Joel Edgerton, I think he's also opposite Timothée Chalamet in a movie called The King. That was a movie that was recommended to me by my buddy Asher. That was really, really good. Also, The King, really interesting.
I'll think of him. Never mind. Go on.
Okay, fair enough. Duffy is 42. Is the Welsh singer who exploded onto the scene with Mercy. Another singer and Grammy winner, Jason Mraz, is 49. And Trey, you'll know this birthday for sure. Turning 46 today, Melissa Rauch, best known as Bernadette on The Big Bang Theory. And then a couple other notable birthdays. I don't know how this one got thrown into sports. Joss Whedon, I think today is his birthday. He's a director that's since kind of been canceled. He was the creator of Firefly. He was the director of Avengers Age of Ultron. But apparently he had some questionable behavior on sets and things. And so I guess he's been semi-canceled. I think he's on his way back, though.
What are your thoughts of Age of Ultron?
Having just rewatched it, it's really good, and it plays a massive role into the overall story of things.
I saw one guy, his name's Rob something, and he was the creator of Deadpool. I follow him on Instagram, and
Rob Liefeld.
Comic book nerd, but he's a fascinating watch. But he makes up the point. He goes, Ultron was such a bigger character in the comic books than they gave him. He was so subdued in the movie compared to really what his comic book character was.
Oh, okay.
And you can see it where he's far more powerful than what you would think. With what you could limit to a couple hours.
Yeah, in that regard, I had heard that complaint about Ultron and that he was a bit nerfed, as the people say, in the MCU. But that is part of the challenge of taking thousands upon thousands of comic books and trying to, concentrate them into films. Is you're going to leave a lot out. There's lots of meat on these bones, and having one movie dedicated to Ultron, watching it, does it seem like he could have had so much more? Absolutely. And that's coming from someone who never really even read any of the comic books. I'm purely the movie guy. So I get that complaint. Luckily, since I didn't read a bunch of comics that had Ultron and how nuts he was, I didn't have that to compare it to. So just on the face of the film, I enjoyed it. And it's, again, I'm rewatching MCU stuff so I can see Endgame the theater again. And that streak of films in there where it's, it's Captain America, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, and then Civil War. All those are really, really solid. Speaking of sports birthdays, LaDainian Tomlinson, NFL/TCU great, turns 47 today. Right in my wheelhouse. So a bunch of my friends went to TCU from high school, right? And I went to a few games at TCU. And our tailback that was a year ahead of me in high school was LaDainian Tomlinson's backup at TCU. So I saw LaDainian Tomlinson a handful of times at TCU, which is impressive because most defenses that played against him never saw him. And I saw one game in particular. I don't even remember who it was against. He had somewhere close to 300 yards rushing, like 4 touchdowns. I mean, it was just insane the day he had. Every time he touched the ball, purple streak across the field going to the end zone. An absolutely nutty football player.
Oh, he was a beast.
I was glad I got to see him. That was looking back, like in the moment, I'm like, oh, this guy's like, wow. and then seeing the career he had in the NFL after seeing what I saw a couple of times in college. Yeah, that dude was amazing. It's out of Waco, if I remember correctly.
No, I thought he was out of San Diego.
No. I'm about 99% sure he was out of Waco. Was it Garrison Hurst? That was San Diego State. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. University High School.
The longest serving current member of the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas, is 78 today. So there. Oh, and one last one. Glenn Danzig is 71. I always laugh when I think of him because whenever I hear his name, I just think mother. And apparently he doesn't. He used to really hate it when you brought up the Misfits for some reason. I guess that's the burden he has to bear being Glenn Danzig.
Embrace it.
I think at a certain point he just did. He's like, fine, I'm the mother guy. And just, that was the end of it. Okay. Do you feel a sense of impending doom when your nipple is touched? You're not alone. The phenomenon is called Sad Nipple Syndrome. It happens when the nipple is brushed, triggering intense negative emotions such as sadness, guilt, or homesickness. And a few doctors spoke to the New York Post about the brain and body mechanisms that might explain this reaction. Part of what's interesting about this is that a number of women took to the comments to say, this is not called Sad Nipple Syndrome. One of the top comments from a verified account named the Breast Milk Queen states, it's not called Sad Nipple Syndrome. It's called dysphoric milk ejection reflex. While she might be technically correct, I'm going to go with my preferred Sad Nipple Syndrome.
Yeah. Sad Nipple Syndrome's much catchier.
It's way catchier. Way catchier.
If you want to, bring attention to a problem, you got to give it a catchy name. And Sad Nipple Syndrome is far better than whatever that other one you said. Other one sounds just gross.
Right. And it makes me glad that I have happy wiener stasis. For those that don't know what that is, that's me just being glad I have a penis and don't have these female problems. Mm-hmm. But if you would like a little more info on the Sad Nipple Syndrome, descriptions range from the deepest pit in my stomach to deep and unexplainable, overwhelming sadness and guilt, even homesickness. So why these issues? Some of the doctors say that some breastfeeding patients experience a sudden wave of sadness or despair right before their milk releases. That's according to Dr. Melissa Walsh. She says it's a condition called dysphoric milk ejection reflex, or DMER. When milk releases, the brain triggers a surge of oxytocin, the hormone responsible for moving milk out of the... This is just getting weird now. Dopamine, known as the body's feel-good molecule, can drop sharply at the same time. That dip in dopamine helps prolactin, the hormone that drives milk production, increase. The nipple areola complex is one of the most neurologically dense structures on a woman's body. That's according to Dr. Ari Hochender, head plastic surgeon and breast reduction surgeon of Long Island. If you happen to be in the Long Island area and you're in the need of a reduction, Dr. Ari there seems to be your go-to. He goes on to say what they're describing sounds like that dopamine drop hitting particularly hard. Sudden wave of grief, guilt, or even dread will come on quickly and sometimes resolve just as fast as neurotransmitter levels restabilize. Just shining a light again on how difficult it can be to be a woman.
Yeah. You lost me after Sad Nipple Syndrome. That it was just gobbledygook after that.
That's funny you mentioned that, because that's what the ejection material is technically referred to as.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you would like more Treehouse in your life, then go to patreon.com/treehouseonair and subscribe to Treehouse Plus, Super Plus, or Ultimate Treehouse today. 3 subscription levels to choose from. Patreon.com/treehouseonair. Subscriber only content, video, and more. All right there. Treehouse Plus, Super Plus, and Ultimate Treehouse. Patreon.com/treehouseonair. Back inside the Treehouse, I'm Dan, along with Trey. Let's get clean. The toilets of tomorrow are here today, and they're coming to New York City first. Mayor Zoran Mamdani's office inked a $4 million contract with the Washington, D.C.-based company Throne Labs to install high-tech solar-powered porta potties in 17 busy areas across the 5 boroughs. The initiative aims to address the city's long-running shortage of public restrooms. The bathrooms have changing tables and sinks and are similar in size to conventional bathrooms, but officials say they're far cheaper and faster to install because they don't need to be hooked up to sewers or other utilities. They'll be remotely monitored by sensors that can dispatch crews to replenish water tanks, empty sewage, and prevent people from camping inside for too long. The city plans to distribute physical cards through outreach teams to provide access for homeless people who don't have cell phones. Officials said the toilets require a manual cleaning every 11 to 15 uses, and the contract requires the company to respond to emergencies like people trapped inside within 2 hours. They'll be able to be opened with a QR code, a text message, or a mobile app, and equipped with free menstrual products. So, solving New York City's public restroom shortage by bringing new public bathrooms to the 5 boroughs. Solar powered.
Socialism. But you didn't watch The Righteous Gemstones, did you?
I've only seen a little bit of the first season. I that's still on my list to finish.
In the last season, there's a deal where a deal called prayer pods, and and they end up calling it jerk off pods, and I think that's exactly what you're gonna find with this.
You know what? Better in the pod than outside of it.
What could go wrong with this plan?
Why are you so skeptical on them trying to solve a public bathroom shortage? They're trying to do something here to solve a problem, and you don't think it's got a chance?
Have you seen the problems New York is having? I mean, one of the biggest problems is nothing gets taken care of, and so you think people are going to take care of these, or that you're going to have long-term funding to do this, but. I mean, they're going to end up just being absolutely nasty within a week.
That's how all porta potties are. I have no doubt about that. But if this company holds up to its end of the deal, which is it's supposed to be cleaned every 11 to 15 uses, it's a private company that's doing this, and so it'll be somewhat held to account on whether or not it's following through on its side of the deal. And if a homeless person decides to move in, then they can deal with that on an as-needed basis. But I guess it's better than them crapping on businesses' doorsteps.
I mean, in theory, sure, great idea. But I mean, every 11 to 15 uses. So there's going to be someone there on site every hour.
Maybe. I mean, there's only 17 of these. I mean, this is basically it's a testing phase. This is the beta, testing to see if this is even going to be a long-term solution.
What could go wrong?
I mean, a number of things could go wrong. I mean, that's the human experience. What's the alternative, though? I mean, if you have a shortage of public restrooms, then what do you do?
Do you really think in a city of 18 million people that 17 bathrooms are going to make a really big difference?
Oh, God, no.
I mean, but
they're trying it in a small testing phase to see if it can affect the limited area that they would serve. And then if it seems like it's working, then they can expand it.
And I am sure at the end of this stage, the company that's doing it is going to realize that $4 million is not enough. And this is a far more expensive venture because they're going to get used and used hard and destroyed on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have no doubts about that. I mean, that's kind of the problem with public use. Anything is we have a tendency to use things hard that are not ours.
yeah, we don't take care of anything.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's why Japan is such a standout at the World Cup, because they actually take care of stuff. And
Right.
the rest of the world goes, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
You can. It's very possible. You just have to have, as a society, a commitment to not be decrepit a-holes.
Well, and then you have people that try to take care of things, and read the next story.
And that is what we call a segue, kids. And read the next story. He's not wrong. Meanwhile, you have people that try to clean things up and get threatened with prison. Like in this case, a volunteer who's under investigation for cleaning a polluted river in the UK without a license is now facing 2 years in prison. This is so jacked up. Sometimes it feels like no good deed goes unpunished, and you can't hand out food to the homeless without getting arrested, nor can you leave water for people in the desert without facing prison. And don't even think about volunteering your time to pick trash out of the river, a lesson environmental lawyer Paul Pousland is learning the hard way. According to The Guardian, Pousland is now in deep water with the UK's environmental agency after organizing a group of volunteers to dredge garbage out of a small tributary in the northeast exurbs of London. The outlet reports that he and his team pulled 200 bags of garbage and organic debris out of a creek over a 10-day period. For that transgression, the environmental regulator sent him a notice informing him he's been placed under investigation for permitting and waste offenses. We consider that unpermitted works have taken place in contravention of the Environmental Permitting Regulations 2016. That's according to a letter that was obtained by The Guardian. The EA's main complaint seems to be that the dredging was significant enough that it constitutes a flood risk. If authorities decide to prosecute him, he faces a maximum of 2 years in prison, an absurd penalty, some would say, for a good Samaritan. So indeed, no good deed goes unpunished. On this case, there's a difference between a good deed and an environmental cleanup that may have actually harmed the environment, according to the agency.
Which, it's not. And also, if you read on in the story, it turns out he had been trying to obtain a license from them for like the last 5 years.
And kept getting ignored. And eventually he's like, enough. I'm taking matters into my own hands. He cleaned the area up and it's looking good.
Mm-hmm. And
wildlife looks good. The property around that area of the river looks good. And instead he's being threatened with prison.
The UK is so screwed. I mean, they have dug themselves into a quasi-socialist hole that is, they're now about on the brink of a civil war and just all-out revolt against the government for crap like this.
Look, for all political transgressions that we have, not just in our country, but in other countries, I still believe in my heart of hearts that there's room for common sense, and it's needed now more than ever. If you're not going to permit somebody to clean up their trash in their neighborhood, then prosecuting them for cleaning up the trash in the neighborhood is asinine.
Yeah. And
if you're not doing your job and then someone does it for you, that's bad.
And when you have a country that has all sorts of bizarre environmental regulations and someone who's just trying to basically pick up trash, and if by picking up, there's so much trash, if by picking it up that he is truly altering, the waterway and creating a flood risk, well, then you've let it go for too long. And especially when you find out the guy, he's an environmental lawyer, so he knows the system, and he's been trying to get you to allow him to do this for years, and you ignored him.
If it was just him with a poking stick picking up some trash on the side of the road, fine. But once he gathered 200 volunteers and had a concerted effort.
It wasn't 200 volunteers. It was 200 bags of trash.
You're right. Yeah. It was like, it was 200 bags of trash, and the number of volunteers is way less. It was like 10 volunteers.
Yeah.
Or something. My bad. Thank you for correcting me on that. If you pick up 200 bags of trash with a handful of volunteers, now you're an illegal operation.
Mm-hmm. We want to save the environment, but you're doing it too quickly. Slow
Sorry,
down,
sir. You took way too much initiative. Now we need to understand the effects you've had by
do you
doing
understand?
such a good job.
We have a whole department for this that, you're putting their jobs at risk by actually doing your job.
You're going to make these guys go outside, and we don't like that.
They're going to have to work. Stop that.
They have air conditioning in there. You're making them go outside and look at garbage. How dare you?
You have to study these things first.
For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com and be sure to find and follow us on social media and YouTube. The handle at Treehouse On Air, at Treehouse On Air for social media and on YouTube. Check us out there. We will see you next time right here inside the Treehouse.